What up, guys? Let's go ahead and get the drivers' meeting out of the way. Welcome to the final race of the premiere here at Kansas Speedway. Please run off the track after the drivers' meeting is completed. And that will be a total of 135 laps. We'll have stages at 20 and 65. That is 20 and 65. No fast repairs, 4 additional sets of tires. A few things to note: the only black flags will be clear passing yellow due to red cars and wrecking into the pits. We will not clear black flags for speeding through pits or unsafe entry or exit. During the restarts, let's keep the back tightened up. Laying back to jump the start will result in a penalty. And when taking the green flag, you must maintain in your line until you cross that stripe. After the yellow flag's out, you safely made it through any wreckage. Please catch up to the pace car immediately to prevent delaying others. And when cycling through a green flag stops, state over the radio what your intentions are to allow others to move around you. Congratulations on making it to the end of the season. Good luck tonight. Have some fun.
Welcome to the DES Premier League here at Kansas Motor Speedway. This is the final race in their season and the final of their playoffs, which has been a 5-race sprint. I am going to be joined in the booth here by Mr. Jonathan Medlin, and then also there's going to be some occasional other broadcasters propping in, Mr. Jeff Dinda and Ben Kuhn. They will also come join us from time to time. We've also got Damon O'Brien. He's working with those switches, giving you those nice, beautiful displays. Jonathan, how you doing today?
Doing wonderful. How are you doing tonight?
Well, you know I'm on cloud nine. I'm having a great day already. So we are getting ready to get them onto the grid, and we're going to hit that starting lineup. Go ahead and run that down for me, Jonathan. Oh, wait. We're going to have to talk about our point standings real quick for the Premier Series. Let me see if I can see that real quick, because we do have a playoff battle going on right now. We're going to come back to that part. Instead, we're going to just go ahead and move to the starting lineup. We'll get the points brought up here after the cars get on track and we're done running through the starting lineup. Go ahead and hit me with that, Jonathan.
So in the pole position, we got John Crosby, and then number 2, we got Brandon Hinton, and the number 5 car. Judson Curtis in the 35 car in the 3rd spot. Jonathan Geist in the 32 in the 4th spot. For row 3, you've got Hunter Davis in the 88 and Thomas Long in the 23. Row 4, we got Charles Connor in the 67 and Mark Holloway in the 56. For row 5, we've got Sean Dion.
And it looks like we got one car that did not qualify, Brian Souza in the number 60. Small field today. We only got 10 trucks out there, but the way Kansas works is it's going to be high pace. I mean, they're going to be able to run about 5 to 10 laps full throttle. That's going to destroy their tires, but they can do it. And then after that, you're going to see them about pedaling throttle just to kind of maintain the vehicle. But they're able to get some, draft going on this type of track.
With that being said, that's the kind of track. I mean, you can play it one of two ways. You can either start off running the high throttle and just trying to get as much as you can, burning through the tires, or play the long game, sit back, let everybody else burn their tires, and then take that opportunity to step up and, pick up some pace on the pack and try to make a move towards the front before time to pit on either a caution or a green lap pit.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting one out here. I'm very curious as to what goes down. Currently, right now, I want to bring up this. You've got Brandon Hinton. He's battling for a chance to win this championship. You've also got Hunter Davis and Judson Curtis in a tight-knit battle, okay? So this is going to be an interesting one. This is not going to play out kind of how the race did earlier. These guys are going to be a bit more methodical in their actions and a bit more choice in where they put their car. So I think this one could potentially go green to green. And we are coming down the back straightaway, getting ready to go green flag racing today.
I got to say, it looks like it's a beautiful night in Kansas, and it's a great night for racing.
Oh yeah, it's going to be wonderful. John Crosby, he's been real strong lately. I mean, he just was strong in the last race earlier. So as we come down the front straightaway, we're about to get that green flag waving. John Crosby's going to lead him to the jump with Brandon Hinton on his outside. Let's see who can get the jump and get up there. Looks like a gap between Geist and the 5 truck right now. So he's got no help on his outside. Inside line is really grouped up right there, and they're going to move past that 5 truck right now.
Yeah, it looks like Hinton's going to finally get a chance to slide into the pack there and fall into 4th place and kind of get into the draft a little bit and try to pick up some ground that he just lost right off the get-go.
Yeah, it looks like the front six are going to line up nose to tail. A little bit of jostling going on back there. And as I said, nose to tail, they're already starting to fan out again. Hunter Davis with an opportunity to peek under the 35. He's going to be gracious on that, allow that 35 to slot right back in.
That's another name that Hunter Davis, he put up a heck of a fight in the last race as well.
Oh yeah, he was up there running up front. He led the race high last time with 39 laps. So he is doing a great job out there right now, really making sure he is taking care of that machine. He has the most wins in the Premier Series too as well. He is our winningest guy right now, but he has had a bit of a faltering in the playoffs, just can't really get the momentum going. But if he can somehow pull off a race win here, that's really going to help him out.
Indeed. And, the few races that I've gotten to see in the Premier Truck League, Brandon Hinton's not one to take lightly either. He's a pretty serious racer.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't count out Brandon Hinton. He is a very strong driver. He actually just locked up the ARCA championship on Wednesday, and he got his back-to-back repeat in Next Gen championship on Friday. He did not race earlier, but now he is racing in this race, and he's looking to try and get a third championship. He's got a bigger margin to overcome in this one, but he does have the chance to be able to get that championship.
You got to think there might be a little bit of strategy for not racing in the legacy race, getting a little bit more practice in and getting the nerves set and ready to make a run at shaking things up here in the Premier League.
As of right now, they're just kind of running cautiously. Now, they do have a stage break at lap 20, but it looks like no one has lost touch with the group. All 10 trucks sitting there right on top of each other, hanging out with each other right now.
Yeah, it's definitely been a little bit more cautious than the legacy race. The legacy race, I think it was lap 11. Caution came out. There was a bigger spread from the pack, from the front of the pack to the back of the pack. And these guys are just kind of staying right there together and just kind of trying to get a feel for each other, a feel for the track, and see how their trucks are running for the night and figure out what their strategy is going forward.
Yeah, I think right now they're just kind of trying to stabilize themselves, kind of get as much as they can as 23 scrapes the wall there on the back stretch. But there's not much of a hurry right now. You want to just make it through these 20 laps, get to a good position to where you can fight a little bit easier later down the road.
Indeed, and there hasn't been much of a shakeup as far as the way that they're standing on the track from the start. Crosby still in that lead spot, Hunter Davis in second, Judson Curtis in third, Henton in fourth, Sousa in fifth, Long in sixth, Geist in seventh, Holloway eighth, Dion ninth, and Connor in 10th.
I'm really curious to see what they do, because when it gets towards the latter stage, I think that they're going to fan out a lot more. Now, I think I have a little bit of a better understanding of how this track works, as I have won in the trucks on this track before. It is tough to make a pass here. You have that draft. It acts kind of like a super speedway, but it's a stalemated super speedway. You've got aero that really just kind of blocks these trucks. And that's why these guys are lining up nose to tail. Because when you start pulling out like this, like how Hunter Davis kind of is, he's just getting air on the nose. But when you start trying to run other lines, that air will tighten that truck up a lot and cause you to drift closer and closer to that wall.
Yeah, the air gets dirtier quicker at tracks like Kansas.
Man, Hunter Davis is all over John Crosby. He is just hanging out right behind him, but he's also covering off Judson Curtis, who's now going to lose a position because he pulled out a line.
He's trying to recover and keep that third spot in front of him, and it looks like he might do it.
Looks like Hunter Davis has said, I am going to the point now. He is looking for that stage point win right there to help him out in his point standings. He has decided it's time to move past Crosby. But now the thing is he going to get help on that bottom line?
It doesn't look like he is. It looks like, well, I say that, and then here comes Hinton down to the bottom.
Now, those two are teammates. The 88 and the 5 are teammates. So I could see why the 5 truck would jump down there to kind of attempt to help his teammate out, but he's not going to sacrifice his own race for him.
Yeah, it looks like in the turns, they're starting to fan out a little bit more when they come through the turns and try to make their moves.
Yeah, it's around 10 laps on your tires. About 10-15 laps is when you start feeling wear. So guys who have been full throttle are now going to start having to lift a lot more than guys who've already been pedaling a little bit, trying to preserve those tires. So you're going to start seeing some gaps develop between these dudes.
You know, Crosby's got to be sitting there looking back in his rearview mirror going, this fly Hunter Davis just will not go away.
Yeah, he is all over him. If I was in Crosby's position, I'd be getting a little annoyed. But at the same time, look at what Crosby's doing. When he exits the corner, he runs that middle line. That forces Hunter Davis to either go up top where he's going to have no momentum or try and cut it down low to his bottom where it's just going to scrub off more speed and cost him the ability to run up next to him. It's an art to get around these 1.5 miles and these tracks like this, you know, Kansas, Las Vegas, stuff like that, where you can run that full throttle, almost full throttle line. It's an art to be able to hold somebody behind you and be able to pass somebody.
From this angle, you can start to see the effects of the wear on Crosby's tires as he's getting a little loose in that turn.
Yeah, forcing that truck to cut off and move towards that middle line, that does add an extra bit of wear on the tires as well. It's not going to be as bad as if somebody was running the high line or being full throttle, but it is going to have an impact. As the lane changing for Hunter Davis is now about to cost him P2 as Judson Curtis is able to dive underneath him.
Yeah, and as Judson makes that move in, he's doing a good job of trying to defend that and keep Hunter Davis from being able to sneak back into 2. And that looks like Hinton might have just scrubbed the wall.
That's uncharacteristic for him. He usually never touches the wall, so that might be a sign of being tucked under other trucks does in fact pull that vehicle towards that wall or tighten it up. So tire wear is starting to affect them, but they're in luck. They are about 3 laps away from their stage break.
That is correct, and you know, it's like you said, this race very well could go green to green.
Yeah, and with how small the field is and how smart these guys are, I could see a potential of that happening real easy. So it's going to come down to the tire management and when you pit, because fresher tires are going to be faster than older tires. So people are going to be thinking about undercutting or protecting their equipment or making sure they have a smaller stint towards the end.
Yeah, and you know, another thing that comes into play, you know, do you take 2 tires or do you take 4 tires?
I personally would not take 2 because of the temperature difference, but there are guys who can make that work, and these are the guys who can make that work. So there is a chance that we could see a 2-tire gamble as we get our first stage break here. Stage 1 winner is going to be John Crosby, followed up by Hunter Davis, Judson Curtis, and Brandon Hinton. That's your top 4.
Well, a solid run for Crosby there, starting off in the pole position and leading the first 20 laps, not giving it up.
We're going to take a quick commercial break while these guys pace around and potentially do some pit stops.
Mom, can I have a popsicle?
No, honey, you'll spoil your...
Hey parents, tired of those out-of-control kids? Throwing embarrassing tantrums wherever they go. At the grocery store, on the playground, even at the dinner table. You've had it with parenting, but wait, there is a solution. Introducing Nap Time, the latest, most effective tool for child tantrum prevention. It's simple. Just douse a rag with our patented Sleepy Time formula, place it over your child's cry hole, press and hold gently for 8 to 12 seconds, and presto, no more tantrum.
I was beginning to think adoption was the only way out. Then a friend of mine introduced me to Nap Time. It's never been so quiet around here.
The secret lies in Naptime's revolutionary fast-to-sleep formula. Developed by military-trained scientist doctors from NASA, Naptime's powerful molecules rush to the child's brain on contact, gently inducing instant tranquility.
This is chloroform.
Already put those wallet-draining crap factories out on the street? That's okay! Naptime works in any situation. On the golf course. An awkward blind date.
I had a really good time tonight.
It even works on pets.
After we had our first child here, we regretted it almost immediately.
We didn't know that she'd cry so much.
Talk about defective. But thanks to Nap Time, our little Samantha here hasn't made a noise in weeks. I keep her in a shoebox.
Call now and we'll send you your very own 24-ounce bottle of Naptime solution for only 23 easy payments of $1.99. But wait, there's more! Act quickly and you'll also receive the all-new Dream Sack absolutely free. It's compact and portable for those on-the-go tantrums. Just cover it, tighten it, and forget about it. It's that simple.
We can't breathe good.
So if this looks familiar...
I feel pregnant.
Then don't wait! Order today and join the millions of Americans who just can't stop saying...
Thanks, Nap Time.
Thanks, Nap Time.
Thanks, Nap Time.
Nap Time! When they just won't shut up. Nap Time is not legal in the following states.
And we're back here for this race at Kansas after the first stage. Looks like everybody decided to come down pit road. So we are resuming pretty much where they left off right now. So we're getting ready to go back green flag racing. Crosby gets the jump, and he actually is going to get a really good jump on them. And he is going to leave the trucks behind him, but Brandon Hinton's going to give a nice push to the truck right in front of him of Hunter Davis, allowing him to stay next to Judson Curtis. Now he's going to pull down low and get behind Judson, and Judson's going to actually get in front of Hunter Davis now. Now Brandon Hinton's going to be pulling to the inside of the 88 and see if he can make a move on him too. 88's starting to head in the wrong direction. That's not something he wanted. Judson Curtis going up high now on the race leader. He's looking to take the point, and it's going to help a tow on the 88, allow him to pull up right behind him. It looks like these two are going to try and take the lead on the outside. As of right now, they're not able to fully complete the pass, but they're getting closer and closer. Looks like Judson's going to be able to take the point position. Now Hunter Davis is going to continue on trying to get around him as well. He's just kind of stuck on that outside, not able to fully get the momentum down. He gets that toe on the straightaways, but not in the corners. So he's not able to complete that pass until he has that 35 right in front of him. He's not going to be able to get that job done. 73 bounces off the apron a little bit there, but he's good. Everything stays fine and dandy right there as the 88 now officially clears him. This front three getting nice nose to tail right now. Brandon Hinton's got a bit of a gap between him and the next two trucks. He's got a gap between the truck in front of him as well as the truck behind him, which is Jonathan Geist, currently cruising in that top 5 position. But then back there around Mark Holloway, Sean Dion, Thomas Long, and them, there's a bit of a group back there. So these guys are trying to figure out how to get nose to tail. Brian Souza finally lines up with them. He's all the way down to P10 position. He seems a little bit off pace as he's dropping back further and further from these guys. Now, it's probably because he's saving fuel. Brian Souza is a master at saving fuel. This man can stretch a run far longer than anybody else. So we got a battle for P2 again. Just kind of watching these guys battle side by side, not giving an inch to each other. They're really not being helped by the draft because Judson Curtis is kind of pulling them both along. So it's coming down to just their ability to make the pass right now. As you guys can see, we've got our points race right there at the top of the screen. So if you want to see how tight the battle is, it is right there for you so you can see it and know what's going on here today and why it's so crucial that these guys run a good, clean race, but also stay in the front. As we all get single file, they're all kind of grouping back up together, but staying in that nice single file group. It looks like the top 5 have separated from the next 5, who are a little bit more spread out than the rest of the field.
I do apologize for being gone so long. I got hung up in a line down at the concessions, and it took me a minute to get back up here.
What'd you get? Just get a hot dog?
No, got a chicken thigh, smoked chicken thigh, and that was real good. I just got word from the producer that he had the munchies, and I should have brought him some too.
Judson Curtis is all over John Crosby. He's looking to try and make that pass on the outside. It's looking like the outside's the only place to really kind of make a pass here right now.
Yeah, that outside line gets so squarely getting up close to that wall. You know, we've seen people in practice even scrubbing that wall, getting loose, trying to take that high line.
Look at this top 5, man. They have really just set themselves apart and are just moving away from the next nearest car. The next nearest one is Sean Dion, and he's a second and a half off of that lead group.
Yeah, you know, they really are separating themselves, and, you know, I don't know. It's crazy to think about the fact that, I mean, you go from Jonathan Geist running, you know, 5/10 off of the lead car, and then Dion running 2.2 off the lead car. It's just crazy.
Yeah, they really set themselves out there. I mean, they are just, and it's not like they're out here, you know, just blazing down. They're also being a little conservative, but it's the fact that they're tucked up underneath each other. They're getting good draft right now.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned the fact that they're tucked up underneath each other, and if you look at the back side of the pack, there's a little bit more spread out between each one of those trucks compared to the front 5 that are just right there together in this cluster.
I'm curious to see if this front group does spread out a little bit. They're starting to develop some small gaps, but nothing that's going to really hurt them yet. So I'm curious to see what happens.
Yeah, but it looks like Crosby's actually starting to pull away from the pack a little bit more.
Yeah, he's been just controlling this race this whole time. I think he's lost the lead for maybe 1 lap. Other than that, he's just been in absolute control.
Hunter Davis in that 88 car is still just sticking back there. Of course, you know, we were talking about it before the first stage break. You know, it was Hunter Davis all over John Crosby. Now it's Judson Curtis all over Crosby.
And that's kind of the problem when you're leading on these types of tracks where you have draft coming into play. Yes, there's a bit of tire management and stuff like that. But the problem is when you're the lead car, nobody's pulling you along. You're just pulling whatever's behind you along. And that's what creates this problem where you always have somebody on your rear bumper, always somebody peeking to your outside or your inside trying to get around you.
You know, and as you're saying that, you know, we see Judson Curtis trying to utilize that tactic to slingshot himself around Crosby, but Crosby's doing a good job defending.
It's the way that he's running that middle lane on the back straightaway. I mean, look at him. If you watch him for an entire lap here, once he exits the corner, you see he stays lower. He exits low, hugs that white line all the way down towards the grass. And then when he gets to the corner, he can just barrel it off down towards that white line. And it just hurts their chances with momentum. And then when he exits on the back straightaway, look at him. He's just going to hug the middle line. Yes, they can run up on him on the outside, but he could just dive it back in 3 and 4 and just maintain that lead.
Yep. And, you know, we talked about the air getting dirtier when you get up close to that wall like that. And by him pushing that middle lane, it creates that dirty air between him and the wall. And, you know, that's one that could create a bad situation because, I mean, it could slingshot somebody into the wall and then they could dive on down into you. But, you know, it's like we're alluding to, great defense against anybody being able to try to really pull around them there.
Yeah, the only way the outside line will prevail over Crosby in this current situation if somebody is tucked up under Judson Curtis and they have to shove him through that bit of a buffer zone that you're talking about, like when you get towards the wall with that dirty air, somebody has to shove him through that buffer zone. And until that happens, he's just going to be hung out on his outside and just potentially hurting his tires more as he actually holds down the 73 just then, is going to try and get more momentum by using a side draft. And look at that, 73 just barrels it off into the corner and takes that position right on back. But by doing that, he actually just opened up his inside. And now here comes Judson, but Judson just doesn't have the momentum to get there to him.
Yep. And a good job by Crosby getting back on his line that he's been running this entire race to, you know, continue to dominate there.
This is one tight fight for the lead right here between these 5 trucks right here. It's kind of fizzled down to 3 who are necessarily right there, but you still have 2 other trucks lurking in the background, while the next nearest truck is almost 3 seconds away from the leader now. He is 3 seconds, in fact, away from the leader now.
Yep. As you were saying, it slipped up to that 3 second mark for Dion. And then you get all the way back to Sousa, and that's, 6 seconds off the lead.
I think Sousa's back there 6 seconds off the lead, specifically just to save on his tires and on his fuel. He is, like I said, he's a long run master, so he is definitely trying to figure out a way to stretch that fuel run.
Yeah, and we noticed that in the legacy race as well. He kind of sat back towards the back of the pack and wound up coming in, I believe it was 3rd.
Yeah, out of nowhere, because that was a wild finish in that race, and he was able to hold on. Yeah. And a lot of these guys, I think all of these guys in this race, minus like 1 or 2, were involved in that legacy race, which gave them a good bit of practice for what they have coming today on this track right now.
Yeah, I think the only three that weren't in that last race was Holloway, Connor, and Hampton.
Yeah, those guys decided to pass up on that opportunity of that race. But it looks like Crosby is starting to separate from Judson Curtis now. He is putting a gap on him.
Yeah, and that opens him up to where he can work a little bit more of the track too.
And this is a kind of hairy situation. John Crosby is part of Beer Run Racing. His only teammate out there is the 60 car of Brian Souza, who's all the way in last while he's in the lead. So they can't really strategize together because they're already on separate strategies. Judson Curtis is out there as a lone wolf, and then you got 3 teammates lined up right there, the 88, the 5, and the 32. So they're all right with each other and can plan accordingly for what each other are doing. So they might have a little strategy advantage going on right now. But at the same time, the next 2 cars behind them are both Ratfink drivers who can also do the same.
Indeed, and having those teammates there close by is definitely a handy thing. And when you're leading the race and your partner is 7.5 seconds behind you, that's got to be an unnerving thought for Crosby. He knows he's pretty much on his own right now.
And we got our first taker on pit road. It looks like the 67 of Charles Connor is going to come down pit road right now. That's a little early, I think. I think he might be early for hitting pit road.
Yeah, I figured, you've got a stage break coming up at 65 laps, and I figured, 52, 53, 54, 55, somewhere in there, you might see some folks pitting just to be able to stay out during the stage break. But yeah, lap 49 is a touch early.
Yeah, that's very early in comparison to everybody else. I mean, he's in an interesting opportunity. If he did take tires, he's got an opportunity to just absolutely blaze right now. But it does put him on the back burner for when the stage break does come out.
Correct.
Honestly, with the pit window being so close to the end of the stage, I would honestly just take fuel and then get back out on track.
Yeah, take fuel, maybe 2 tires, get back out on track, and then come and take 4 tires on stage break.
I'm curious. I think that's probably what people are going to do is they're going to pit for fuel. Brandon Hinton has dropped off for some reason. He's on pit. Brandon Hinton decides to come up pit road, but I do have to point out again, I want to point out that this 60 car, Brian Souza, he has dropped back quite a lot. He has passed the truck, but he is a fuel-saving master. So I'm going to keep an eye on him too, because that guy might be able to stretch it all the way to the end of the stage break.
Yeah, and I recall from a previous race that I think it was one of the next gen races with that I saw Souza racing in, and it was alluded to that he was a master of working the clutch in the turns.
Yeah, every time racing that guy and it's on a fuel run, we're always like, how does he have so much fuel? He's just so good at saving it. As Hunter Davis is on pit road and Jonathan Geist is also on pit road. Mark Holloway has taken it to pit road.
So maybe Connor was onto something.
Yeah, he was the first one down, so he gets to have a nice little hot lap moment, but it's looking like people are getting fuel and getting back on track.
Which has allowed Souza to move up into third. That's putting him a lot closer to his teammate, Jonathan Crosby.
I think the only truck that I'm actually truly seeing take tires is Sean Dion in the 3 truck. I do see him back there getting some tires, but I think everybody else has just nabbed fuel and has gotten back out there. 73 coming to pit road. Our leader is going to hit pit road. Now, due to Brandon Hinton pitting just before Hunter Davis and Jonathan Geist, he has jumped them in running order.
So Judson is not taking a pit yet.
Oh, he just announced he's hitting pit road.
I spoke too soon.
Yeah, it was coming. I felt like that was probably the time when he was, but now your race leader is going to be the 60 of Brian Souza, who has not said he is pitting yet. But he's got to stretch it almost 10 laps now.
I've seen him do it. And I know you raced against him. I know you've seen him do it.
Oh yeah, he can definitely do it, but that's the concern, is if he does do it with the amount of people a lap down, nope, he's not going to do it. 60 is pitting this time by.
You got to wonder if he and Crosby are working on a pit strategy to come out of the pits together. So with Sousa pitting, everybody has now pit, and we're less than 10 laps from the stage break.
And it looks like he's also going to do just, I believe he did fuel only, so we'll see. If anybody comes back down for tires, we'll see that. But the least amount of laps on tires is going to be Mr. Souza, but the most on tires is going to be Charles Connor, who is running in the P9 position right now.
Yep. So our top 5 is going to be 73 car of John Crosby back up there in first, Hinton in second, Hunter Davis in third, Jonathan Geist in fourth, and Judson Curtis in fifth. So it's that same pack of 5 that we saw out there earlier, just in a little bit of a different configuration. But too, with that pit and everybody, coming down and making their way down pit row, we've got a little bit more spread now between the cars, or the trucks, I should say. And so they're not as tightly packed together. And, that's going to help. Everybody's going to kind of fall off on speed a little bit, but it's going to take a minute for everybody to kind of get grouped back up and start seeing that battle for position again.
Yeah, it's looking like the stage break will be the most likely time where we'll see them back on top of each other, ready to get back at racing. But they'll be around like 60-ish laps to go at that point, which means that they will have one more pit stop left at that point, which will be green flag pit stops. So I'm curious to see what happens.
And making his way down pit road. Wonder what's going on with that.
I wonder what could have caused that. That's weird. He went to speak and there was no audio from him. There might be some issue with that truck right now. He stopped for some fuel.
So did he take tires and forget fuel on the previous pit stop?
That could be a possibility of what happened. He could have not gotten it all the way full to where he can make it on the run. So now he had to come back down, get some more fuel, which is going to put him a lap down. So that's going to put him in an interesting situation.
Correct. That puts him a lap down, and it moves Dion up into the 5th spot.
Now, with him being a lap down, though, with that stage break coming, he knows he gets it back, and he gets that lucky dog, but he's going to be on all the way in the back. So it's a good thing he came down pit road, got it sorted out, instead of running out of fuel on track or something like that.
Indeed. That would be a bad situation to be in if you're going down, potentially leading the race at some point, and then all of a sudden you're having to hit pit road unexpectedly because you have no fuel.
And we're going to take our stage break here now. He's going to be our lucky dog, and we're going to go to a quick commercial break.
Hi there, I'm Denise St. Clair, and I am so excited to introduce my co-host for today's exciting event. Former champion of the Albuquerque Open, it's Monica Blake, everybody.
I'm thrilled to be here, Denise. Why don't we get started?
Absolutely.
So no one wants to play with dirty equipment. That's why you have to keep your balls clean. Problem is, bar of soap just doesn't cut it. See? Still dirty.
Well, how can guys clean their balls so that they're more enjoyable to play with?
Well, there's finally a tool that can really get the job done. The Axe Detailer. Cleans your balls. Why don't we start with these small balls? With a soft side for lather, and a rough side for scrubbing, this can make any ball sparkly and new. Go ahead and play with those clean balls, Denise.
Wow. Could play with these balls all day. Let's see if the audience has any questions.
You there.
Can it clean these filthy balls?
Throw those fuzzy suckers down here. Look. Cleans right through the prickly surface.
What about my ball sack?
Just plop it right here and let's get to work. It's a big ball sack.
Monica, it looks like we have time for one more demonstration.
Come out here, Mr. Hackerman.
Monica, can you help me with these dirty balls?
Hank, the Axe Detailer offers such a crazy clean. It can even clean your old balls.
Wow. They look like new.
Incredible. There really is no nook or cranny that thing can't clean. You are a true champion, Monica. If you've got dirty balls that need cleaning, call now and you can get a free detailer. Or just visit the Axe Shower Gel aisle in your closest retailer.
And welcome back to Kansas race fans. The pace car is off the track, and we're fixing to go green. We're going to see who gets the better jump. Is it going to be Hunter Davis or is it going to be Crosby? Crosby looks like he got the jump, and he's going to be out in the lead. Davis coming in second, behind him Holloway, Dion, and Curtis to follow up the top five. And Crosby's just running away with it at the moment. And we're going to have to step away for just a moment. So we've got some numbers on the points rundown. Jeff, if you'll take us away on that.
Absolutely. And as the front two just get a great jump out in front of the lead, here's an update after the last stage break. Unfortunately, Brandon Hinton was always the dark horse, to finish in the top three. He had a snafu. He thought stage break was at 60 instead of 65, so he had to come back in for fuel. But let's give an update. As we started the race, it was Curtis, Davis, Crosby, 164, 159, 154. With the stage breaks, John Crosby had 2 wins, so he's coming in strong at 174. Davis has 176, and Curtis, who was our leader at the start of the race, is at 178. So 2-point differential between the top 3 cars as we're stepping down. And of course, if Crosby can hold this win, he gets 5 bonus points. He would win the championship. Same can be said for Davis and or Curtis. So, man, this is exciting points racing, and I love it.
Indeed, it is exciting. And, the three that are 2 points apart for the top end of it are the same 3 that are just battling it out for that number 1 spot. But Crosby has just had the strong truck tonight, and he has absolutely just been dominant, leading all but 1 or 2 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. And, he gained the maximum point differential with those stage wins. He got 10 points each stage, right? Curtis, who was leading at the start of the race, he got 8 and 6. Davis had 9 and 8. And so as these guys tighten that point differential up at the top 3, I think it's going to come down to a shootout. When Edwin comes back, I'm going to be listening to this, and whoever wins this race is probably winning that trophy. And man, this is exciting.
Indeed, this is a great cap for the night with racing trucks here for Des Racing, because it's been 2 exciting races. It's been 2 totally different races. We haven't seen any cautions in this race, but it's still been exciting because the 3 guys that are in the major shootout for the points battle for the championship are the same 3 guys that are in the shootout for the winning the race.
Yeah, absolutely. And Todd Perrant missed this race tonight. He and Brandon were long shots to make it into the top 3 for the playoffs. And Brandon kind of shot himself in the foot there with missing his fuel calculation. Unfortunate for him. I never discount the 5 car. He's an amazing racer. He's already won 2 championships this week alone. Never discount him. But Crosby's making it exciting. If he just holds on to this position, right, he wins the championship. Hunter Davis, Justin Curtis, they are not letting go, and I'm not going to discount Jonathan Geist in the P4 position, right? I mean, he was back in 97 points to start the race, so he's not competing for the championship, but he can certainly compete for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. And Geist is a beast of a racer. The first race I saw in trucks for Des Racing, Jonathan Geist won that race, and I mean, was very dominant in that race. So he cannot be counted out. And I mean, Hinton's only 2.2 seconds back. I mean, he still can't be counted out, because if for some reason there is a caution, or if for some reason he plays the cards right and, does an early pit strategy and then has fresher tires than everybody else when everybody else comes into pit, he could potentially get back up there and compete for a win. So, I mean, he's still a dark horse to be able to take it.
Absolutely, only 4/10, 5/10 back. I mean, he is pushing it. But man, these front 4, I mean, they've got a good breakaway from Mark Holloway in the 5 car in P5, especially the front 3. They are. I mean, I think they all know. They're probably not looking at updated spreadsheets like we are, but they all know, man. Whoever wins this race is probably winning the championship.
Absolutely.
And,
I mean,
yeah, go ahead. No, I was just, while Edwin's out, I was going to give a shout out. Our race previous, Jonathan and I did the broadcast, an amazing finish. A little bit of controversy between the guys, but congratulations to Edwin on that win. I think that was his second win in the league this season, so congrats to him.
Absolutely. He did a fantastic job, leading in that race. The only person that actually led more laps than he did was Hunter Davis. So, I mean, it was a great race to watch, and it was a very climatic finish to close it out.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, leading laps.
I was about to say with
yeah.
that, Hunter Davis just took the lead from Crosby.
Yeah, and as we just mentioned, I mean, whoever wins this race out of these top three guys, not only in the current race but in the standings, they're going to win a trophy, right? And so, Hunter is he's a fighter, and he's not letting go as John Crosby's getting right on his bumper.
And Edwin and I were talking earlier about that dirty air getting up in that wall here at Kansas, and Crosby's done a good job of pushing everybody into that by the line that he's running, and Hunter's trying to do that same thing, but given the way that Jonathan Crosby has been utilizing that tactic, he's defending well against that tactic to try to take first place back. And I thought he was going to be able to pull that crisscross off like what we saw in the previous race, but didn't quite work out. Hunter Davis was a little bit quicker to get back down there and block it off.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm sitting in Hunter's position, John's position. I mean, Curtis is out front, right? Judson's out. He's out in front with the points, but, both of these guys, I think they realize winning and you got it, right? And so, man, they are on top of each other.
And, Jonathan Geist he's not going away either.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Jonathan is back into points, right? He's probably not going to be able to sneak up into a third place for the points, right? He was 97 to start. Leader was 164. So, but, kind of like the last race with Edwin, I mean, there's no issue going for first, right? I mean, called out on a track mic, hey, guys, I'm going for it. And, we know there's still some more pits to be had. So, he is right on the bumper of the 35 car.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, though, too, Geist and Curtis are teammates, so he might be just trying to give Curtis that boost to help him get him back up in the pack to try to give him a chance at winning in the points.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Hunter's increasing his lead here just a little bit over the 73 car, John Crosby. But, again, I mean, Curtis is in the premier position, right? He still has a two-point lead on Davis, a 4-point lead on Crosby. So, he's sitting right there with them, not letting them get away. Like I said, pit stops are coming up. So I hope this finish is as exciting as our last race we did.
Yeah, I think it's going to be as exciting, but I don't think it's going to be as hairy, if you will.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I say this every time I do a premier race. These guys they have to apply for the premier. There's a code that our producer Damon and the other guys who are letting them in, they follow, right? You want to make sure we're clean racers, we're good racers, and these guys are displaying that tonight. And these guys are the best of our league.
Indeed. And I mean, it shows, 86 laps clean, knock on wood, no penalties yet. Or, no cautions, not penalties, no cautions.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they finished that stage at 65, say +3, 4 for the, kind of clearing out the yellow lap. So, these guys, 20 plus laps on their tires. we'll see who makes that first stop. And as I say that, Brandon Hinton had a little snafu earlier, miscalculated the stage breaks. Unfortunate for him. He's back up into sixth position. Charles Connor in fifth. Mark Holloway is just behind Brandon in seventh. John Dion, Thomas Long, and Brian is 14 laps down. I think Brian may have actually exited. Nope, he's still racing. And just respect for him. He's going to finish this race out strong.
Indeed. And the fact that the fact that Hinton's moved up into that number 6 spot, that's what we were talking about earlier. He's still a factor to be contributed. He is a strong racer, and even though he had the miscalculation on the stage break and didn't get enough fuel and had to repit, he has definitely made a point to his case. I'm still here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to say he shot himself in the foot. I mean, the point differential from where he would have ended the stage with 151. Instead, he finished with 143. Crosby's in third with 174, so he probably didn't have a shot to catch those guys. But as you watch the second place car get in the wall there just a little bit, I think that was John Crosby in the 73.
Yeah, it was Crosby.
Yeah, and so
those tires are starting to play a factor here in the wear on the tires. I mean, we're 25 laps on those tires now.
Yeah, minus a few from the yellows. If you're doing like super spreadsheet calculations, if you're a racer, you always got to factor in those few extra laps where you're just kind of cruising around. You can clutch it, save some gas if that's your thing. But yeah, they're it's going to be really interesting to see if these guys, push it, or if someone's going to try to pit a little early. And 56 is pitting right now as we speak. So, Mark's a little back in the pack in position 7. So he's going to come in now.
Yep. And, I was going to say, I figure probably somewhere around here we'd start seeing some of the back of the pack pit. So, who's going to be the one that pits first for the front side of the pack?
Yeah, and hate to keep mentioning our points, 178, 176, 174. Obviously, with Davis being up front, that's 5 bonus points. That would put him in the winning position right now. Yeah, who comes in maybe a lap early? Who stretches it a little longer? I mean, this is the strategy stuff I love.
I have returned, and it is going to be a tight one coming down to that fuel strategy and pit strategy.
Absolutely. Welcome back, Edwin.
Well, I'm going to turn my mic back off unless there's an incident I see you guys don't, and I'll let you guys finish this race out.
Thank you, Jeff, for your insight on those points, and make sure you keep us updated on that. I mean, with it being that tight, I don't think these guys know that. We haven't relayed that info to them, but they are definitely thinking about stuff like that. There's a potential for them to win based off their running order. And right now, Hunter Davis is in that spot. But the thing is, Hunter Davis, if he pits based off what we saw with Brandon Hinton, if he pits a lap after John Crosby or after Judson Curtis, he will come out of the pits behind them.
John Dion is coming down the pits right now in the number 3 truck. So that's 2 from the back of the pack, but we've still yet to see anybody from the front of the pack that has called out for that pit.
And that's the interesting part. We got to see when they will be able to pit. They're probably trying to stretch it as far as they can. They want to stretch it as far as they can so they have the freshest tires at the end so that they can really get out there and hot lap or battle with whoever they need to. Also, one thing I want to call out, I don't know if you guys said something about this, Brian Souza's 15 laps down. I wonder what happened there.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to mention that yet, but yeah, he's 15 laps down. you know, he's still out there racing, but I'm not sure exactly, you know, what got him to where he had to go 15 down.
I just got an update. He had a Domino's delivery with hot wings. Sorry, I will jump back out of the broadcast, but I'm keeping an eye on these points while you guys keep going.
He had to get food. That is a crazy reason to go 15 laps down. But honestly, if I had some wings coming right now, I'd probably
I think I'd
step
go
away.
15 down too.
I would definitely go 15 laps down for that, especially some bone-in wings. Oh my gosh. Some flats. Love it.
Okay. This isn't quite race related, but blue cheese or ranch?
I actually use both. I prefer blue cheese, though. Blue cheese is definitely better.
I knew I loved this league.
You're a blue cheese man as well?
I'm blue cheese to the core.
Oh, yeah, blue cheese is phenomenal. Actually, first time I had blue cheese, I was in high school, and they were like teaching us about it, or no, middle school, and I loved it. I ate like multiple pieces. Everybody else was like, "No, I don't want to eat that." I was like, "This crap is good. What's wrong with y'all?"
Celery on the side. Ooh, yes, celery and some blue cheese. I'm good.
I throw the celery to my bunnies.
Yeah, not to comment on the current conversation. Blue cheese for me, but I just rewound Brian Souza. He may have used a fast repair early. He sat in a lap in the pits for those laps. So you know he may have had some repairs he needed to make. And congrats to him for sticking out the race.
73 coming to pit road right now. That is the first taker of the leaders.
Yes, it is. Crosby coming into the pits, leaving Davis and Curtis out on the track.
Now remember,
35 laps to go, or 34 laps to go, actually.
88 in this time as well. The thing is that he's got to beat Crosby out. You know, he's got to run hard because now they're going to be equal footing, and Crosby is going to be pretty close to that 88 when he comes out of pit road. No mistakes can happen right now.
Yeah, and you know that's probably why.
Jonathan Geist missing pit road.
Ooh, that's uncharacteristic of Geist.
Now, that's a commitment cone violation. That is going to be a penalty.
Yes,
5 pitting, 35 pitting. They're all coming down. 35 also. The 32 slides through his pit box as well.
Wow.
And that right there is going to be that P4 position washed away. But now the 88's back out on track. John Crosby is on track, and he is coming. Let's see where he comes out near him. He is now currently right behind Hunter Davis. Will he get to him, or how close will he be? Look at him. He's right there, and he is going to take that position. That's going to be a cycle for the lead.
Yeah, it is, and it puts Crosby back where he's been dominant all night.
That puts him in the position to win this championship as well.
It does.
Now, can Hunter Davis catch him? Can he get back towards him? That's the question. He's about a second off. He's going to have to really put the pedal to the metal while still preserving his tires to make it the whole run to win this race.
All right, so our top three right now, after everybody has made their way back in back out from the pits, is Crosby, Hunter Davis, and Judson Curtis. So it's the same three that have been up there all night. And fourth is Hinton. He's made his way back up. Charles Connor in fifth, Dion in sixth. So, and Geist fell off a lap down.
Yeah, those mistakes were costly for him. Now he's sitting a lap down. He's in a very terrible situation. I don't see it happening, but unless a caution came out, there's no way for him to get that lap back. Hunter Davis has trickled down on that lead, though. He is now at .8 off of the leader.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to track down Crosby, but you know, Crosby's just had the line most of the night, and you know, he's run a very good, very clean race, and been very dominant when he's up in that number one spot. And right now, he's got clean air, and he is taking advantage of it.
I'm really seeing if Hunter Davis can have anything for it. Now, remember, this is a draft-dependent track. You know, they can run flat out, but the question is, you know, can he get there? You know, it's going to take some work. He's gradually catching. He's now down to .7.
Yeah, he's definitely closing the gap.
And he's got the time for it, too. Like, it's not like we're down to the last 10 laps or anything. He's got the time to get there.
Yeah, and I mean, they're on the same tires. I mean, they came in back to back on the pits. So, you know, their tires are just as fresh as one another. As I say that, they're coming around on I'm trying to figure out, they're coming around, looks like on Sousa.
Yeah, they're going to be catching lap cars here. I think it might be Thomas Long or Brian Sousa. Brian Sousa, who's 13 laps down now. He got 2 of his laps back in that pit cycle. Yep, he's right on Brian Sousa. And it went up in time then because of that draft that the 73 was able to gain from him.
Yeah, and I know Ben has joined the broadcast. I know he had some tire troubles earlier. I'm just going to give a points update. As we stand right now, Crosby, if he wins, is +5. That's 179. Davis, if he finishes in that position, he and Curtis are going to be all 3 of these guys are going to be pretty close to being tied. But Crosby, if he can finish in this position with the 5 bonus points, he may win this league. And I'm going to jump back out again and keep an eye on these points for you guys.
Yeah, had a little bit of tire difficulties. Our tire on the way back kind of went kaboom. And we also had a little bit of jack problems. But the same thing with John Crosby, what more can you say? The dude has been really consistent. And like how Edwin said, this is a draft-dependent track. Now, with that being said, these tires are, like, they can come loose at any second. Simply because of, you know, how these trucks handle at some points, but you never know. I feel like Hunter Davis, if he could just find some form of momentum to get to Crosby, I mean, I don't know if he's be able to get around him, but it's going to make an interesting race when I do believe less than 20 laps to go.
Well, he's in a good benefiting spot because, yes, this track is draft dependent, and he's in that draft window. He needs to be a little bit closer to truly be in that draft window and really feel the benefits of it. But he is in that draft window. He's down to half a second behind. So he is there gaining that advantage of the air and is still running down that leader. So at the rate he's going, this might come down to the absolute wire.
Oh, absolutely. And one thing you got to think about is this too. Like, if Hunter Davis does get to him, how will he make his pass? Because if Crosby gets down to the bottom, it's going to be kind of hard. I do believe trying to get that high side alone, because right now, I do believe that bottom line is probably the better line to run here in Kansas.
You know, we were talking about it earlier, and they were having luck getting to the high side. The problem is Crosby has got a brilliant defense against letting them get around on the outside, because he takes that middle line, creates the dirty air up towards the wall, and it keeps them from being able to just get past. So in order for Davis to get past Crosby on that upper side, he's going to have somebody there to push him through.
that's a big jump in his momentum to get there as he's down to 0.35, so he is getting closer and closer. It is definitely going to come down to the wire. We're at 16 laps. Oh, sorry, not 16 laps to go. 20 laps to go now. 21 to go.
Yeah, and if you look at it, it's like almost two and a half, like basically a quarter of a second right now is Hunter Davis. Like, he has a lot of momentum coming into this. Now, one thing you got to think about is this: like, if Hunter Davis could get to his inside out of this tri-oval, it might help out Hunter Davis tremendously.
The 56 is going to take it to pit road himself. See, he's been out there for a while, 23-lap-old tires. But the eyes are set on the leaders right now. Hunter Davis is pretty much there. He's 2/10 off of the leader right now. He's just got to gather it together, use that draft to his advantage, and get up there to that car. Get up there to that truck.
I mean, he's got it down nearly to, 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting coming down to the wire with less than 20 laps to go. And right now, it's going to be interesting because I wonder where Hunter Davis is thinking about making that pass, or if he's just going to try to put a bumper to him, like on this trial. We'll just try to move him up a little bit, not try to wreck him, just move him up a little bit out of the groove. That way he can get to the bottom and just start making momentum again. As AD goes into the wall, I don't think that'll send him back too much, though.
That's him pushing. He's trying. He's trying everything he can to get there without burning up those tires.
What's crazy is Crosby and Davis are sitting here in this battle for 1 and 2. 5 seconds back, actually almost 6 seconds back, is Judson Curtis, who was earlier right up there with Crosby and Davis. He's kind of fallen off pace a little bit.
And that just goes to say how hard these guys are pushing and how much they're trying to make sure they win this championship. They're getting at it, and they are really putting their best foot forward right now. Actually, what's the exact numbers, Jeff, on their point standings right now with those stage points added in?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Curtis still has the lead with 178, right? He may not know that Crosby has 2 stage wins, puts him at 174. Sitting in the middle of them is Davis with 76. Now, what's really interesting is Curtis has 2 wins on the season, right? So if they top 3 finish tied, impossible, right? But Curtis would have 2 wins. That's probably going to put him in the championship. Davis being in front of Curtis, actually, it's probably hurting Curtis more than he thinks, and he may not realize that at this point.
So sitting at the top, they have a 2-point separation, correct?
Absolutely. Davis currently is 2 points ahead of Crosby. If Crosby finishes in front, that's going to give him 5 points. That would put him in the lead. We need to break out the calculator because from 178 to 174, depending on where Curtis finished, like I said, Davis may upset Curtis winning that trophy.
It's going to come down to the wire, man. We've had 2 exciting things go down. One was exciting racing that was just battling out on the track, and now we've got a race exciting points battles going on right now.
Yep, and if they finish in this and the setup that they've got right now, Crosby 1, Davis 2, Curtis 3, Crosby will win the championship because that'll put him far enough ahead with that 5 bonus points.
Yeah, absolutely. But keep in mind, Davis in P2 with Curtis in 3. If Curtis finished in second and Davis was third, that may tie the 73 and the 35 car, which would probably give the win to the 35 car with 2 wins on the season.
Correct. So, Curtis has got to find a way to get back up there in the mix.
Hunter Davis is actually falling backwards, so he's got to figure out something. The safer place for him to be is leading this race, but he has dropped all the way back down to 6/10 behind.
I was just about to bring that up as soon as you said that. Like right now, I wonder if when Hunter Davis hit that wall, if he had any form of wheel damage that's causing his, increase his tire wear, cause him wear to lose more spots that way.
That is a possibility.
Yeah, Hunter's going in the wrong direction. It's almost to a second of a gap. He is definitely heading backwards. Unless something happens where Crosby gets stuck behind someone or a caution was to come out and they can hit pit road again, Crosby might sail away with this race victory as we're coming around to get 10 laps to go.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, like he was in a real pickle right behind him because it looked like the two guys were getting a little bit squirrely behind him, and that could have been a really bad caution, like really upset Crosby's chances. And Justin Curtis could have capitalized on that for being behind Crosby, possibly getting underneath him on the restart.
Yeah, Hunter Davis is currently sitting around 2 lap traffic cars, so that's also hurting his situation right now. He's not really getting a tow from these guys or anything that's really beneficial to him right now.
Yeah, I think it's that lap truck to his outside, kind of keeping him from draining more of a run, hurting his line, and more importantly, just dragging him further back and back.
It's letting Crosby just really put a gap on him, and that put the lead up to 1.1 seconds now.
Yeah, and Curtis is still sitting back there at about 5.5 seconds. So, I mean, if it stays the way that it is right now, there's no doubt Crosby's going to win this race.
With the current pace, absolutely. I mean, John Crosby, really right as of right now, that has nothing to worry about because Hunter Davis has 2 lap cars around him and kind of slowing him down even more. I don't think he really is worried about Hunter Davis at this point.
Yeah, Hunter Davis is done falling back to about a 1.3 second gap off the pace of Crosby. And, having 1 lap car in front, 1 lap car behind, it's just, it was slowing Crosby down when he was in him, but he finally pushed through him. So, maybe Davis can as well.
Well, he's clear of the lap traffic now. Sean Dion has pressure tires, so he's just going to drive away. But he's still progressively going in the wrong direction. They just tacked on an extra 10th on that gap. It's now 1.4.
And just to chime in here real quick for Damon to comment, muted for us all to hear. Again, 5 points for the leader, and it's 1 point per spot after that, correct? Wow, this is so close. That would put Crosby at 179, put Davis at 177, and put Curtis at 179 as well, potentially. No, actually 178. So, wow, this is close.
I have them on a 2-point separation for the championship. That's a tight battle.
I mean, potentially a 1 point difference for the championship between Curtis and Crosby. If Crosby wins and Curtis comes in third.
Well, I would say this. I just noticed that Hunter Davis was able to get a couple tenths of last few laps, but I don't think it will be enough at all for him to catch Crosby because we're coming 3 to go this time by coming to the start-finish line.
Yeah, the time's just dwindling away for Hunter to make a move.
Yeah, he had to make something happen when he was chasing him down before then, and he just the tires and the equipment didn't hold up as he actually just lost all that little bit of time he gained back right then and there. So it's pretty much, unless a late race caution for some reason came out or anything like that came out, Hunter Davis actually gets into the wall just then. That's a telltale sign right there. His tires are done.
Yes, it is. And like you say, barring a late race caution this is how it's going to wind up. I'm surprised, honestly, though, that Curtis hasn't caught Davis.
Yeah, Curtis is actually still falling off from Davis himself.
I wonder if it's a matter of burning up his stuff a little way too early because at the same time, Hunter Davis played for a few laps. I've had lap cars behind him, but we're one to go this time by. John Crosby is still in the lead and has really, honestly, nothing to worry about.
Davis has closed that gap a little bit, though. He's back down to around a 1 point. Well, now it's going back up to a 1.1.
But I don't think I don't know if that would have made any difference unless Crosby somehow got loose out of turn 4. As he did it, and we're coming down to the start-finish line. John Crosby has won this race and potentially the championship.
He potentially came out of nowhere and snagged this championship from them until we get the numbers fully crunched. There might be a real chance that he might be our champion, but he is definitely 100% today our race winner.
That was a great race. I mean, that 2 exciting races tonight, in two different ways were they exciting, but 2 exciting races tonight, and to be a part of that with Des iRacing has just been phenomenal.
That's a phenomenal points battle race right there. I'm absolutely satisfied with that one, man. That was great. John Crosby going to bring it home for beer run racing right now. Judson, sir, congrats on the P3 finish, man. How was that race for you?
Tip 4.
Congrats on that P3 finish, sir. How was that race for you?
Man, I was just trying to keep it smart and just keep the truck together. I don't know how good of a job I did, but we're here.
He did a good enough job for P3, sir. That was an absolute amazing tight points battle race. From our numbers that we're crunching that are unofficial, it's going to come down to maybe 1 or 2 point difference. Are you nervous about it?
Man, I was just trying to be smart and do keep it clean and do good. So I'll take whatever we get.
Jonathan, you got any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you raced a heck of a race and, kept it clean. You said you didn't know how you did on your mission. And I mean, from my vantage point, it looks like you did a pretty good job. Congratulations on the P3. Great racing tonight. Both races. Hey, great job tonight.
I appreciate it, y'all. It's been a good racing here. Learned a lot, and you can take it to the bank and take it to the notes and learn for next year. I really enjoyed racing with Hunter and John. They're great drivers up there. Obviously, you learn a lot. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
And we're going to try and get our P2 finisher in here. Hunter Davis, man. You tried to put on a late race charge. Didn't work out for you. What was going through your mind?
Exactly that, man. I lost somehow lost 3 seconds on that pit cycle. I was about a second and a half up. He pulled about a second and a half in front of me. So lost that 3 seconds. Wasn't able to get it back.
Hunter, at one point you had actually closed that gap and got up within just a couple tenths of a second. And then all of a sudden you just kind of started falling off. What happened? Did you scrub the wall and get some tire damage or what happened when you fell back there?
No, just all the guys that decided to do a late race stop, trying to let them by because they're on fresher tires. Not necessarily let them by; they're going to pass me regardless. But whenever time you go side by side, you let them go. I mean, you're just going to start losing tenths and tenths and tenths. And then we were there for probably 3 laps side by side with 2 different guys. So that just is what it is.
Well, heck of a race, man. Congrats on the P2.
Thanks, dudes.
And let's get our race winner in here, Mr. John Crosby, man. Well done on that race win. What was going through your mind after that last pit stop?
Thought it was screwed, honestly. I wanted to kind of jump Hunter there. I did. And then I had probably a second on him. And then I saw him coming, and he was coming fast. And I said, well, this is over. There's nothing I can do. So he got to within, I think, 3/10 and just kind of held him there, and then he just started falling back, and I was like, dang. So he must be saving. So I said, screw it. I'm going to go for it. And went for it, and somehow ended up here.
Well, man, congratulations on first place finish and possibly the championship win tonight.
Yeah, how's that looking?
I don't know. Jeff, how are we looking, buddy?
Well, from last you said, there might be a 1 to 2 point difference or a tie. There's a bunch going on with that. We're going to have to crunch the numbers and figure that one out because it's going to be a tight one.
It is. And you know what? That wasn't even going through my head at the beginning of this race. I was just like, well, there's no way I got this. But I still wanted to come out and do the best I did or could. But I do want to give a huge shout out to everyone in DES for putting on great shows like this. You know, this is my first year in here. So no matter what, it's been an eventful first year. I've learned so much from everybody in here. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody.
And it could be, sorry, I was muted. It could be 179, 178, 177. So we need to wait for the official ruling from the master, Damon. But I'm going to give a temporary shout out to you.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. But if I can do it, anyone can do it. So, yeah, I'm just super proud of everybody. Bear Run. You know, I've had the best team on the planet backing me. So, but just a huge shout out to everybody that's been supporting me through this whole thing. So, thank you.
Crosby, I want to say congratulations tonight on the first place finish. Congratulations on possibly taking the championship. My first race that I saw right after joining Desiree Racing 2 weeks ago,
Yep.
You won that race, and it was a Premier Trucks race. So, you know, to be a part of the broadcast on that tonight, to get to witness you come out and showcase that kind of dominance tonight, man, that was awesome.
Yeah.
You led the most laps of the race. You won both of the stage breaks. What was going through your mind coming out of that second stage break, knowing that, you know, hey, I may not be out of this?
Really, it was just kind of staying ahead of everybody, obviously. But it was, man, I don't know. I was just focused on, you know, just trying to make it to the end and get a win, really, because that would put me in contention for a championship. But I was kind of crunching the numbers, and I was like, yeah, there's no way. Yeah, there's kind of a way. Yeah, maybe, who knows? So if it gets me one, fantastic. If not, it's all right. But yeah, coming in the second stage, I knew I had to stay in front of Hunter. Hunter was fast, so it was just, you know, blocking that middle lane on the backstretch to not get that that bottom lane. It was so dominant tonight. And I feel like it's dominant at Kansas, unless you're, you know, on a restart, you know, in the first like 3 laps and you can get a good run. But other than that, it was just trying to get the dominant lane.
Well, you definitely had the dominant lane. You held it. You defended very well against both Hunter and Curtis. You know, they early in the race, they were both giving you a run for their money, just back and forth, pecking at that back window. And
right.
I had asked, I told Edwin, I said, Crosby's sitting there looking at these two in his mirror going, I wish these flies would just go away.
Well, I honestly, there would be some times where I would kind of back up a little bit for them to race some more and burn up some tire. But honestly, so that was kind of like a little bit of a strategy, I guess. I would try and get them side by side and then burn their stuff up. But obviously, it didn't happen. But
Well, congratulations, Crosby, man. You earned that win. 101 laps led, man. Congrats again on that one.
hey, thank you, and thank you to everybody again. I really do appreciate this. It's been an honor to be here. So thank you guys so much.
All right. Well, I want to first off say thank you to Jonathan Medlin, Jeff Dinda, and Ben Kuhn for joining in this broadcast and helping us talk about this amazing race. Absolutely amazing points battle. I mean, couldn't ask for anything more from our premier guys. Thank you, Damon O'Brien, for putting on this wonderful, beautiful broadcast for us, bringing us those nice visuals and everything that we got to see. We will definitely catch you guys tomorrow for our Xfinity race, the final race of that season, and they are going to be at Homestead, Miami. It's going to be another good one. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll catch you tomorrow and next season. See ya.